Hello, Degrassi alumni, and welcome back to another episode of the D-Grads podcast, the Degrassi Rewatch podcast, with your hosts, Shane Kipple, Gavin Spinner-Mason, and
me, Mike Lobel, or as my mom still calls me, Jay Hogart.
We are only 4 episodes in, and I can't tell you how much I hate that you keep saying that. Anyway, we are also joined by the fantastic Andy Tate. Andy, say hello, please.
So excited for this episode.
That's right. And today we have a very, very, very special guest for you. Today we've got Melissa McIntyre on the show.
Oh, wait. I had the intro for Melissa McIntyre.
Just roll with it, Shane.
All right. Well, now you kind of spoiled the surprise, but she played the school president and stepsister of Toby Isaacs, the astute, loyal, no bullshitting Ashley Kerwin. And once again, please welcome the beautiful, the talented, the witty, the woman with the eyes so deep and blue, there's a good chance you can find the Titanic at the bottom of them, Melissa McIntyre.
That is probably the nicest thing you've ever said about me. Thank you, Shane. Hello. Good morning. Hi. Holy moly.
Thank you so much for joining us on episode 4. This is really exciting. We're going to be talking about family politics today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, guys. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, and we, for the fans that are in the know, which hopefully is most of you, if not all of you, the 3 of us just got back from Houston this past weekend, where we were at NostalgiaCon with Pat Mastroianni, and I don't know if it's going to come through of how sick we are of spending time with each other and now jumping on the podcast, but I guess time will tell.
It's the worst. I hate it. Ugh, I was dreading this. I'm kidding. It's been like 48 hours. I need my fix.
Oh,
let's go through the episode, guys. Shane,
wait. I have to set the table. I have to set the stage of what the world was going through with my favorite segment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm teeing you up, bro. Where were we at? When did this air?
Well, on this day in history, October 28th, 2001, where Degrassi's this episode of Degrassi first premiered. The highest rated show that week was not Degrassi. It was the original CSI Crime Scene Investigation. None of the derivatives. The original CSI.
Wow.
Was the top rated show on this year date. The number 1 movie in the box office, which was a surprise to me, was K-Pax. Do you remember K-Pax?
No.
For those of you that don't know, it was a Kevin Spacey movie. He played an alien, spoiler alert, or was he an alien? I actually really liked that movie. So K-Pax was the box office topper that week. The Billboard number 1 in the world was still, for every week that we've been doing this, Still I'm Real by J-Lo and Ja Rule. Mike, this one for you. Donnie Darko was released on this day.
Oh, love that movie.
Something also interesting, a little bit. I used to talk about the state of the moon. I'm not going to talk about that today, but there was a solar flare that caused a geomagnetic storm that swept past the Earth. That was really close, and I don't remember hearing anything about it. And
almost killed everybody.
And finally, and I think it still applies today, October 28th is National Chocolate Day in the U.S. And now the table is set.
Wow. Thanks for setting that table. Melissa, do you remember where you were at this time in your life? What was going on for you? What you were listening to, wearing, doing?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I was very close to Ashley at this point. She was still very newly developing. So the awkwardness was very real. And I was probably just, as always, listening to a lot of Celine Dion.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
I know you were singing a lot in those early days. That's how I remember you right off the bat. So were you singing Celine in the car, in the shower, whenever you had an opportunity to?
All of the above.
And what was your favorite track?
Oh, God. What's my favorite? That, asking my favorite Celine Dion track is probably the hardest question anyone will ever ask me in my life. I mean, probably It's All Coming Back to Me Now, because I'm a ballad whore. I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, Celine was like morning, noon, and night. She still is. She's a queen. Come on.
Cheers.
Amazing. So, okay, well, this is very fitting because we just watched Family Politics. I'm sure It's All Coming Back to Me is a great metaphor for that experience. How was it seeing yourself, like just being confronted with yourself at that age for the first time?
Oh man, it's easier to watch now. I think, you know, however many years ago it was, too many, but I think at the beginning, you know, it was really difficult to watch because like as an actor, you're hypercritical.
Yeah.
You're like, why did I move my mouth that way? I should have done this differently. But watching it back now, I'm like, this is really cool. Like I think I sometimes forget how big of a moment it was for my own self and for the rest of the cast that were there. And looking back now, I'm just like, we were in something that none of us really understood. And I'm still kind of just learning to understand. It's crazy.
And maybe learning to appreciate it as, you know, with all of these years between us, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's even just watching the trailer for the doc, I got goosebumps and I was just like, oh my God, goosebumps. I was just like, this is crazy. Like it really means so much. And I'm realizing how much it means to me. And yeah, it's this really strange sensation of being really close to it, but also really distant from it.
With all of the conventions that we've been doing and being face to face with the fans and hearing what it still means to them, like to answer your question before or the statement that you made about however long ago it was 24 years ago what you watched today, what we all watched today, and the fact that not only do people still care a little bit, they still watch it every day. And I can't believe there's no way that we could have known back in 2001 what we were getting into. It was exciting. We were kids living a dream, trying to figure it out, navigating this brand new space, and working with all these adults and all of the attention even before the show aired. All of our circle knew we were famous socially within our circle. Everyone knew what we were embarking on, but even in the later seasons, still filming the show actively, I knew how big it was, but there was no way anyone could have known that. I've been finished for 15 years. Mike, you've been finished for 15 years, and it's like it's heating up again. It's just incredible that that we can relive this, and we're adults now with this new perspective, and our friendship has grown that much deeper. Mel, I'm still working on a friendship with you, but Mike and I have gotten really close.
Well, honey, that ship has sailed. You're good.
Okay.
Well, let's relive episode 4, Family Politics. Shall we start it off? The episode opens up in Terry's home where her father is really excited about the school dance. Terry kind of confides with her dad that she feels fat. She feels like she's overweight. Her father can't convince her otherwise. Nobody's going to want to dance with a fat cow like me, she said, which is heartbreaking. And I would love to know I'd love to talk to Chrissy about how it's her process, on playing this character, what was kind of going through her mind at this point.
I was a big kid, as we saw very clearly in this episode. I was very insecure about that. So to play a role where like you have to actively talk about what you're insecure about, and everybody is their characters are calling you that, and you're struggling with that identity in your own life, that at like 13, 14 years old in the public eye, that's a lot for someone to carry on their shoulders.
Yeah. And I don't even think, just for the record, she's not overweight. She's not, I'm like, what? She totally looks normal. But yeah, to your point again, Shane, is like just having to refer to yourself. You're hired as an actress to play this part, and then your first big moment is essentially calling yourself fat. It would lead me to think, well, why was I cast in this? It would be tough for me to sort of justify or to wrap my head around all of that. You can embrace it gracefully, or you could take it personally. I don't know. I'm just curious.
I think that's something that a lot of the actors on the show did, was like there was a lot of kind of untapped personal things that were brought into characters that we really, Chrissy did an incredible job with it, but she wasn't the only one. Like we tapped into those insecurities, and people were outed on the show before they were out in like in personal life. You know what I mean? Like there were a lot of things that were uncomfortable and really deeply personal.
Yeah. I mean, I have like a personal probably overshare, and it's early in the episode, but I'd love to talk about it at some point. I had a topless scene that was cut out, and I was really uncomfortable with it. And not because I was going topless, but because I was like not in shape, and I had body issues, and I felt like I was a little bit overweight and not, you know what I mean? I just didn't feel good in my own skin, and I had to take off my shirt. And so then the fact that the scene ended up being cut, probably the only scene I've ever done on the show that was cut, also did my head in a little bit. Like, wait, why was it cut? You can take that too. So that drives me a little crazy. So you're absolutely right. First time I've ever admitted that, by the way, to anyone. So yeah.
Man, I didn't know that.
We are just going off the deep end here. Right
Sorry,
in.
guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll talk about all that later, I'm sure, through the season when we get to that episode. So we're at school now. Spinner he boops a kid on the nose, calls him a loser.
Mm-hmm.
All in a day's work for our resident bully, Spinner. He asks Terry to borrow her geography notes because I guess he's kind of a slacker. Did he just ask her to the dance? Maybe he did. It's kind of like he's feeling her out a little bit there.
Yeah, Spinner definitely was showing interest in the even through that wooden performance. As I said, I'm just gonna tear into myself for every time I'm on screen. And Melissa, I was in our last episode, I was the one that shared that in the early days, I was getting over a stammer and a lisp, and they would come out a lot when I was nervous. So the only way that I could get around that was to speak very slowly. And now when I see myself in those early episodes, just all I'm doing is trying not to stammer or show that lisp. And what should take 3 seconds to get out takes like what feels like 15 seconds to me.
I had no idea, Shane. I had no idea. I've known you most of my life. I had no idea.
Well,
that's wild.
Now you know. And now I've shared. Yeah. But it was I think what my performance was supposed to convey was that Spinner was interested in Terry and was disappointed to hear right off the bat that she was not attending the dance. And sidebar, when we go to conventions and online, I get so many questions about do I wonder about what a relationship would have been like with Terry, with Spinner and Terry. And I honestly, up until now, I completely forgot that there was so much of a built tension between Spinner and Terry in the early episodes. So I thought that whenever fans would pose that question to me, that like, why do they care so much about that? Like we didn't do much, but apparently we did. So I'm curious to see how that materializes. And fans, I'm sorry, I feel you now. I get it.
Yeah, I get it. It's all in those subtle little looks. Enter Ashley. Okay. The night dance needs to be really successful, or else the school will go back to, quote, daylight dances, which is no fun. Kids want darkness. They want the vibiness, right? And Paige asks Spinner to save a dance for him, but he blows her off because he's not interested in her. All the other girls are discussing who Spinner likes. Spinner wants class notes? Since when? Hun, that's called a flirtation device. Melissa, you are like, I just don't recognize the Ashley that I'm seeing in these first episodes. Because when I came in season 3, you had gone through such a metamorphosis, but to see your character as like, you are so A-type and on it.
Ashley needed some grounding. She like I watched it earlier today just as another refresh, and I was like, Ashley's really kind of a dick in this stage because she thinks that she's being a good friend, but she's really just making everything about her. And yeah, she's just the way that she talks to Terry, the way that she's stressing about the dance to Terry. She doesn't care what Terry's thinking, what she's feeling, how she's like, what her emotional space is. She doesn't care. She just wants to run this night dance and make sure that there's another one. And yeah, like she really, as much as Ashley made a lot of mistakes, she really did need to make them to find a place that was more grounded. Because these early episodes, I'm just like, gosh, you're such a jerk. Stop talking.
I don't know. I found it to be that Ashley was just being the loyal, supportive friend. Like maybe didn't get into too much of the reason why Terry might be feeling that way, and why she wasn't more forthcoming with her reasons for trying to get out of it. But I just saw a friend trying to encourage a friend who might be experiencing a little bit of like, you know, failure to launch with boys, is like, hey, there's someone interested in you, and obviously other people are interested in him, but he's coming after you, so you should feel good about this. I didn't think it was a dick move, but I mean, you played the role, so you would.
Well, no, it's nice to actually hear that different perspective, because I love Ashley. I put a lot of myself into her, but it's nice to hear that, you know, somebody else had a different perspective over her actions, because mine were just like, oh my God, you're just really not being a very supportive friend right now.
It's interesting, Melissa, because that sort of like self-involvement that you're talking about having in Ashley's character, I felt that way about a lot of the characters in this episode. I felt that way. It's obvious about Paige. It's obvious about Ashley. It's obvious about Shane, like Spinner. Sorry, I'm going to do that a lot. But yeah, it felt like everybody was this was an episode where everyone was just kind of angling for what they wanted, and we're trying to just jostling, you know, just a lot of subtle conflict. It's not a huge episode like the pilot. It's not online predators that, you know, culminates in some rescue mission. This is like the real nuanced kind of just subtly manipulating other people just to get what I kind of want. And Ashley doing the school announcements, of course she does, so type A. So meanwhile, the freshman crew, Emma, Manny, and Toby, talk about the dance. Who's going, who's not going. Manny is too afraid to ask permission to attend the dance, and leaves Emma high and dry because Emma really wants to go. And that's when Hunky Bro and his big bro, Sean, pulls up to school on a motorcycle. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what this means.
Bad boy.
Bad boy. That's right. He's introduced, and this is maybe my favorite moment in the episode. He's introduced to the class by Mr. Simpson. He has a really over-the-top intense reaction, and it's kind of funny to being introduced to the class when Mr. Simpson asks him, say something about yourself, and he just goes, no.
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 That's it.
No, I will not. I was like such a boss move. I couldn't believe it. Even at 41 years old, I'm like, he can't talk that way to a teacher.
They did such a good job of establishing every new character and their archetype, like right from the get-go. I mean, pulling up on the motorcycle, realize, like, not happy that he's about to walk into school. It was not like just a first day, like, all right, here we go. It was like, this is gonna suck. I would wish I was anywhere else but this. But then, yeah. Do you want to say something? No. And then just goes and sits down.
Yeah.
Lights a cigarette.
And poor Mr. Simpson has no idea what to do with that. Just like, okay, great. Just gonna leave it.
Yeah.
Sean Cameron, double ear piercings. Look out. So Paige is obsessing over Spinner in poetry class. And preparations for the dance, meanwhile, are underway. Jimmy tries to include Sean, which is really sweet. He has this sort of nice moment where he walks over. He's a decent guy and tries to kind of invite Sean. who's totally antisocial at this point, doesn't want any of it, rejects Jimmy. I felt so bad for Jimmy there. And Emma is looking on, going, ooh, I like those 2 earrings. I like the jean jacket. This is making me feel some type of way. And so we kind of get our first hint there of a budding relationship or infatuation.
I will say once again, and it's hilarious as this episode goes on, and you will see it. Hopefully you did. Jimmy, when he's in a scene without Spinner, speaks. When he's in a scene with Spinner, Spinner's the only one that talks, and Jimmy just goes like, ah! And like, it's, I don't know when the first time Spinner and Jimmy banter back and forth, what episode that will eventually show up in, but so far he is essentially silent on camera when next to Spinner.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember any of that, but he walks over. It made me think he had a line to Sean. No one's going to treat. I just want you to know the guys won't treat you differently with everything that happened. And I was like, ooh, what happened? Is this why Sean is so moody? What the hell happened? And it seems like Jimmy is just trying to include him back in there, that they were friends, that they are friends, but Sean is just not having it. So that was a loaded moment. And it makes it really sets the table for finding out why Sean is this brooding, antisocial bad boy in the jean jacket.
And it seems like there's a history there. It doesn't seem like it's totally coming out of nowhere. I'm thinking, when I'm watching this, I'm thinking, is there some bad blood between them? Of course, I don't know yet that he's come back or that he was at Degrassi, or do we know that? Maybe we do. But they're setting up that like maybe Jimmy, they obviously know each other from before.
I think at least it was obvious to me that Sean is coming back. Whether he finished the year before or he left. I think they established that he did leave in his introduction, that he left early the year before.
Yeah.
But I at least I got from his first scene with Jimmy, which I guess I was the only one watching the episode, Mike, that there was that there was a history.
All right, shots fired. Then I'm going to say it. I think the I'm Upset music video where you're his sidekick is payback for all those times that he didn't get lines in your scenes because he played your sidekick.
Oh my God, yes.
All right, Mike. All right, Mike. Okay.
I've been waiting 20 years to say that to you, bro.
Andy, we're going to cut that part out. I've been waiting 20 years. Now I'm upset.
I feel like Melissa, that red camo tank top that you're wearing throughout that thing, I was like, I feel like if you stole one piece of wardrobe from the show, that would be it. Am I wrong?
I wish I had. I have some stuff, but yeah, like the Ashley's wardrobe season 1 was yeah. There were a lot of little moments where I was like, oh, I don't know if that's okay. But I loved. It's just it was so like true to awkward 8th grade bad fashion choices. And I appreciated that. Like, it wasn't super, super polished. Looking back, I'm like, again, it's been long enough now that I don't cringe so hard. But when I was a younger person, I'd be like, oh, what was I thinking? But
I do think that's one of the reasons people look at the show and go, that feels real to me. It feels like real life, because the fashion choices were bad. I didn't like wearing Jay's clothes at all. I was like, this is a horrible choice. But I also know it was the same horrible choices that we were all kind of really making in our real life at the time. And so now reflecting on it, I realize that was actually the smartest choice they could have made, because that's exactly what it was really like. We all made these horrible fashion choices.
Am I the only one that didn't think anything of anyone's style? I'm like,
really?
oh, okay. All right. all right, this is cool. This is cool. I mean, I had no sense of fashion back then. So just the fact that, okay, a hottie shirt with sunglasses inside. Sure. Oh, a camo shirt. That's nice. Backwards hat over there. That works.
Here's the question, Shane. Were you happy with your wardrobe? Like, how did you feel putting on your Spitter's clothes? Were you like, yeah, this is cool? Or did you?
Hell yeah, of course. I was dressing very similar to that in my everyday life, and at that point, like every shirt fit so tight. As long as I had some slack around the chest area, I'm like, this is good. This works. Yeah.
Didn't they rip because you wore a lot of like button ups, like flames and stuff on them? Didn't they rip
Flames.
that from your own personal wardrobe?
Are you me? I was wearing stuff with flames on it.
Yeah. No, who else? Yes, you.
Yeah, you had a lot of flames going on.
No, I thought maybe Mike was. I didn't remember, but
I had no flames.
no flames. I definitely didn't wear much with flames. But the spiked hair was my choice. My hairstyles throughout the seasons, up until the famous, infamous hair flip, all of those were my own. And but the baggy jeans and the chain, the spiked hair, the kind of barbed wire esque, graphics on the t-shirt, that was more what I was wearing in those days. Flames, no, but yeah, it wasn't too much of a stretch that I might wear something like that if I felt like dressing up.
I think you might be mixing up Spinner with Guy Fieri.
You're so interchangeable. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, because he always had flames, and he had the Spinner vibe going on.
Yeah, if you didn't know what Shane was talking about, I could swear you literally just described him, Guy Fieri.
That would be so funny if Guy Fieri at one point, like, hey, could you tell us about like the Billy Goat goatee and the spiky blonde hair? He's like, yeah, have you guys ever seen Degrassi season 2?
Spinner's my spirit animal.
Yes, and Guy is mine.
Okay, so Terry and the girls, Ashley and Paige, are all hanging out there, putting up decorations for the dance. Terry confides to them that she feels ugly. And so Ashley suggests that they all give her a makeover. What could happen? Back in Miss Kwan's class, Toby and JT are bantering. Toby Woby is not so secretly crushing on Emma. JT gives Toby a bunch of URLs, which I think we can all figure out what those are about, right? Do I have to say it?
No, what were they all about? Please tell me.
Pornographies. This is the early days of the internet, folks. It's the boys are looking for a rite of passage.
Do you know how early it actually was? Early enough that JT said he has a cousin that's really into the net. and that's how he knows.
That's how early it was. The internet was a hobby for some people at this point.
Yeah, this guy knows how to get nude photos of women. He's like a hacker, I guess they call him.
Well, it's funny that you brought up K-Pax earlier, because there's like a hacker synergy happening, because that movie was directed by Ian Softly, I think, who directed Hackers. And Toby is actually becoming a budding computer hacker. I do feel like there is, like, the early 2000s was all about computer hacking, right? Like that was like the cool alternative hip thing to do. Plus you could just kind of like have somebody sitting at a computer pressing a bunch of keys and then just say, I'm in, and we all get it. It's like they're hacking. They're a hacker. Somehow they know the codes, that whatever it is, and they're in. Great, cool.
Isn't, you say you act like that day has passed. Isn't that still the really cool thing to do? If you have a friend that could get into anything.
I need more hacker friends. Yeah.
I don't know. That's not me, but if I had a buddy like that.
I was so into the movie Hackers.
Yeah. I feel like Andy, if anyone in this room knows how to.
I just got through the mainframe right now.
Downloading the CIA records.
You guys should see these URLs that I got. Let me print them out for you.
Yeah, I love how you got to print
Wait,
the
Andy,
URLs.
do you know the net?
Do you know how long it would take to type in those URLs? They're probably humongous URLs. So Terry gets a makeover from Ashley and Paige. She looks awesome. Again, I don't think she looks overweight. But yeah, I guess that's what we all thought being overweight was at the time. So she's feeling super self-conscious in this outfit. Paige says, "Listen, hun, like it's not that wild what you're wearing." She doesn't want to wear it because it's too sexy. And so Paige offers to, let's lighten up a little bit, Terry. Let's go drink some sherry, which sherry? I think they know what they did there.
Also just speaks to underage drinking. Not that any of us ever partook in that.
All legal.
But you always had to take the easiest, most painless route, like amaretto and Coke, or peach schnapps. Sherry would have been of any of the wines. Sherry would probably be the easiest one to go down. I don't know. I've never had a drink, and especially not.
I like it because it just seems like something that Paige would have latched onto, like heard, like sherry. Oh yeah, that sounds like a cool drink. I'm just gonna always drink sherry.
She did go right for it in the episode. She then immediately the alcohol was in the other room. It wasn't let's grab a drink. It was let's grab some sherry. So I see exactly what you're saying, Mike. It was very, very deliberate.
Yeah, it wasn't like a let's see what I have here. Oh, got some sherry. It's like she just opens up the liquor cabinet and it's 48 different bottles of sherry. Like,
girl, we need some sherry.
But what I really liked about that scene also, the reveal, actually this is backtracking, Mike, to the scene right before, where it's Terry's reveal, and Ashley's like, "Oh, you look great," and Paige is like, "Yeah, you actually do," because she's blown away by how beautiful Terry is as well, and she's like, "This is." And now I have to go on to plan B, because you knew right away when Paige inserted herself into that makeover that it was not on the level, that she had a motive there. And I guess she was just hoping that there was nothing in her mind that could make Terry look like a threat for her that night with the spinner. And then she comes out. Okay. All right. Now, what can I do now?
It's so scandalous the way Paige is behaving. It's so scandalous. And Ashley just wants to be a good friend. Well, Ashley just wants the dance to happen.
She just wants to have her way. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, whatever it is, I don't care. Just do not ruin the dance tonight.
Yeah. Like, Terry, you're fine. You look great. You're going to look great. But like, come on, TikTok. We got to go.
And also, side note, sorry, Lauren as Paige, she just had a feel for that role. She was great. Like I every moment of hers I buy, and especially when you like stand her performance up and to mine.
Come on,
like,
Shane.
No,
now you're just flipping.
I know. I'll stop eventually.
No,
Shane, you are spinning.
No, I'm really
you
not.
Believe in yourself.
Do it.
Thanks,
Do it,
guys.
lady.
Thank you. About 25 years too late. But no, I felt, I find like Lauren was on the money with every single line that she had. And she is just,
she's so
ruthless.
And
I love it.
She
I love
is
to
a
hate her.
Stone cold killer in this episode. It's shocking.
She really is.
So now we cut to the party, the dance, the music is thrumming, the party is wild. It's this very strange mix of dub and late 90s electronica. And I did think like it's giving Hackers. Now, am I just saying this because I'm a wildly insane fan of the movie Hackers and I just want to insert Hackers into every podcast episode I ever do? Probably. But also I do think that there's some merit to what I'm saying here. And we see Sean enter the dance in the most IDGAF Do the kids still say that? Way possible. He really is playing this sort of like, I don't care, whatever. His character really reminds me.
Sorry, could you?
I don't give a
What
flip.
does that mean?
I don't give
Mike.
a
What?
flip.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
He walks up, he slams his money down. Is it money? Do they charge for these dances in school, in grade school, high school? Melissa, you were taking tickets, right? You're at the front.
I mean, like, I wouldn't put it past Ashley to be like, no, we're taking a cut from this. Like, I put a lot of work into this. This is going towards something else.
Right.
She was ruthless in her own way. So yeah, maybe she was robbing the people of their hard-earned cash.
But you say that Ashley is ruthless, and so is Paige. I got to be honest. The girls in this show are very scary. Like, they're very intimidating.
Yeah.
They are mean girls. Like, I would be terrified to talk to these girls in school.
No, they are. They're like the the amount of confidence that they have. I think that's maybe one of the things that is kind of drawing for them as well, is like they know who they are. And they are pretty unapologetic in it. They're like, nope, this is my space. This is who I am. And I'm owning that. Every one of them. Yeah, I agree. They're terrifying. I could only imagine being a teacher to these girls.
Here's another question. Sean doesn't want to share in class, doesn't want to be there.
Is he going to the dance?
Why would he go
Because
to the
he does
dance?
want to share and he does want to be there, but he doesn't want to look like he's weak. He's got to be the tough guy. Oh, 100%. He wants to
Okay.
put himself out there. He just doesn't know how.
I mean, you have you have JT and Toby saying like, no dances, that's lame. And then you have the guy that's like, screw school and all this. And like, are you going to dance? Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I never
Yeah,
missed
totally.
it.
He's like, I just
don't know.
want to be around people. Don't talk to me.
Yeah. I just want my feet to move a little bit. Maybe my hips. I don't know.
I just feel like dancing by myself.
Is that so wrong?
Go away.
In the center of the room.
Or maybe he's got this agenda. See, I'm like conspiracy theories now. Like, what happened between Sean and Jimmy? Maybe he's going with designs on that moment. Because when he pushes Jimmy up against the wall there, and, it kind of felt like this buildup, this tension, like he had a message that he wanted to get across.
Yeah. But
We'll get there.
we'll get there because I have some other things to say about that moment, which I'm sure we all saw. But anyway.
Getting back to it. So meanwhile, Toby and JT are surfing the dark web. Okay. Toby's hacked the mainframe. He's taken the parental controls off of the computer that his parents put on there. Good on them. And it's like the early 2000s again. We're hacking computers.
I'm in.
When all of a sudden, I thought like the connection drops, right? So they're frozen out of it. But I thought initially I was going to see just a bunch of internet window pop-ups, that crash the computer, or like some sort of virus warning or something like that. But this is maybe predates even that. Maybe it was just, they're on a 56.8 kilobytes per second modem. The whole thing goes down, and bummer. We can't get the nude ladies on our screen.
I thought for a second it was like the for lack of a better term for those of you who are not Canadian, the FBI, like, shut it. Oh, your screen is frozen. Stay where you are. We're sending agents to your house. That this is illegal in 49 states, including yours. And that's what I thought happened right there.
Wow.
I'm with Mike. I thought it was going to be like a virus that was just like, oh, you just crashed your computer and now you're going to get in trouble with your parents and yada yada.
I like Shane's take too, though, where he gets arrested by the feds because they know he's a little kid.
Can you?
What's funny about a lot of like modern jokes about the internet back then, it's like, oh yeah, it took so long just to download a single picture. There's a scene in there where Toby's like, all right, picture number 2. He literally does that. And they're like, all right, let's wait. That wasn't a joke. That was literally how it was. We we say that as a joke now, but like he's like serious. He's like, yeah, now we get to look at another picture.
That is. So,
Yeah.
count your blessings, kids. We live in a faster world.
Picture number 2. Okay, let's make some popcorn. I'm going to cook dinner and we'll check back on this in 45 minutes.
Terry and Paige are full on binging the sherry at this point. The more you have, the better you feel, Paige says, which that's a pretty convincing argument. I buy it. And they're totally wasted when they pull up at the school. Paige gives Terry the idea to tell Spinner how she feels about him. Some Machiavellian stuff happening here and now with Paige. She's getting some ideas. And so they walk into the dance in order to confront Spinner.
And there was also a very cute moment that I think was right before that when Spike drops Emma off at the dance. And he's like, be careful. Don't walk home alone. He's like, Mom. Which I think a lot of that was concern over, Emma's safety. And also just being a mom that probably would have said that anyway. But Miriam's reaction there was hilarious. And then Spike realizing, oh, yeah, I just said that in front of a whole bunch of older kids. And now my daughter is going to not talk to me for the next 2 weeks.
They're always at each other. So Paige and Terry walk into the dance. And Terry walks up to Spinner. And she tells him, well, she asks him to dance, right?
Yes.
She's playing it way, way, way cool. She's trying to play it super cool here. This is really fun to watch.
She played drunk really convincingly as well. It wasn't over the top.
Yes.
She was trying to keep it together, but it was silly, but also endearing and not like just edging on sloppy. But it was really well done.
Yeah, playing drunk is there's a real art to it, and it can go wrong really quickly. And so I think she did a fantastic job, Christina. And then Terry is about to sort of blow the whole thing, right? If she gets caught, if she gets found out by Radich, if anybody knows that she's been drinking, the night dances are going to be canceled. So Ashley is basically kind of instructing her to get out of sight, get in the dance real quick before that happens. Oh yeah, and Radich actually does kind of come up to Ashley and ask how it's going, but she's safe. She's gotten the danger being drunk Terry out of the way, and everything's good.
Does Ashley know yet that Terry's drunk?
Oh yeah.
At this point, yes. So right in front of Ashley, Paige is like, I tried to get her to stop. And Terry's just like, that was such, once again, the audacity of this girl to get Terry drunk, present her to her best friend, and then say like, nah, I couldn't stop her. She's off her rocker. Why would she do this? And Terry either didn't hear or didn't care enough to stand up for herself there, but I thought that was a really low move, Paige.
Oh, totally low. Just shocking behavior here. This plan that she's kind of concocting on the fly about how to get the guy, how to get Spinner. They're all fighting over you, Shane. What's that feel like?
Feels right, feels right. It did back then. It does now.
Great. Wonderful. Okay. Sean manhandles Jimmy for literally no reason. I'm not sure. He's a powder keg just ready to go off when that spark ignites. I don't know what that spark is, really. I guess repeating the 7th grade has him feeling ashamed, and he wants to set Jimmy straight.
But it looked like Jimmy was coming on like a little strong this time, which made me think that in the earlier scene, even though they were friends, he's taking digs right now. Maybe they weren't close the year before. Maybe Jimmy is just rubbing in the fact that like, hey, have fun with the grade 7s while we all go on with our lives. But Jimmy just walks up to him with so much swag, like, hey, dude, like, don't worry, I got you. And then Sean just grabs him and throws him up. What I wanted to say is, I'm sure we all caught it. Aubrey could not contain his smile there at all.
Yes.
At all. And Danny was smiling a bit too with that. So I guess those guys were probably cracking up, being new friends at that point, and now having to, like, you know, get into a very intense moment. It was hilarious. Aubrey looked like Jimmy Fallon on SNL in that sketch.
I am so familiar now with Aubrey corpsing. It's like, kind of, to me, I feel like it's part of the Jimmy character. And that is why, like, I think you're right, Shane. I do think there's a past here, and I feel like Jimmy has made the choice to kill Sean with kindness. And he knows what he's doing. He's poking him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But depending on what their relationship was, that kind of poke, like, if you are good friends, it could end in like, yo, like, lay off, man. But the way that Sean is going after him makes me think that maybe they were in the same friend circle, but the ones that were like always like secretly, you know, kind of at odds with each other.
Whatever it is, it's intense and it's pretty scary. Like, Sean's a little kid at this point, but, you know, if he was a bigger dude, I'd be like, whoa.
Did you just call Daniel Clark?
I mean, we're all small in these episodes, guys. Like, everyone's tiny. It's the baby version of every character. I rest my case.
Okay, well, when we have him on, I'm going to remind everyone about this conversation that we had, and you could take that up with him.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Melissa, when you looked at Danny in that scene, was the first thought that came to your head that, he's going after a much bigger guy? I wouldn't do that.
No, my first thought was, that's a lot of denim. No, it's just, there's something about Daniel Clark in particular where he just makes me smile. I just think of him as a person, this bigger than life character, as a human being, and what it was like filming with him. And I don't think that I've ever really disconnected watching him play Sean, because I just have such a strong experience of him as an individual. I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
Me too. And watching this episode, I actually had a sort of a moment where I felt, man, I really miss Daniel. I miss Sean. He left the show. Well, I don't want to get into spoilers, so we're not going to go there. But it's been too long.
But that time may be up sooner than we think. There might be a chance to reminisce, but I digress.
Awesome. So Terry, oh my God, coming on way too heavy here. Do you believe in love at first sight, Spinner? Wow. She's throwing around the L word already. Terry tries to impress Spinner with her boozy dance moves, which I love just how long that played out. It was just like a perfectly awkward amount of time before she takes a spill, trips over something. I don't know what, herself probably. She's pretty,
her own feet.
She falls over and then runs off, super embarrassed, to throw up in the bathroom. And Ashley, of course, being a good friend and probably also wanting to make sure that she doesn't run into Raditch in the hallways, goes after her. But when Ashley and Paige are watching this train wreck in motion, and Ashley is just glaring, and Paige is just looking upon her work with glee. The moment that Terry falls, where a good friend like Ashley should jump right in there, you don't move at all. You're just right.
Ashley doesn't do anything if it isn't for her own benefit in the long run. At least at this point in her world in the show, she does not do anything that doesn't benefit.
I feel like Ashley's character has like a really good life plan, and she's just executing every single step. Like she's gamed it all out.
And that's probably very accurate. She has things on her calendar. We're like, this is the deadline for this. This is where you do this. And yeah.
And everybody else who's not going to help her is just in her way and utterly disposable.
Expendable. Yeah.
Yeah. But I that moment just made me laugh. That we're waiting for. Everyone had that feeling that Terry something was going to happen. She was going to fall. She was going to throw up on Spinner, which would have been hilarious. Just something. But just watching so intently and waiting for the other shoe to drop, literally, figuratively, and it does. And Ashley is just there. Yeah. And also that love at first sight. Do you believe in love at first sight? And Spinner's just, I don't know. It's so.
Well, Paige's ultimate plan has come to fruition, and she moves in on Spinner, asking him to dance. And again, this is the moment I'm just like, this is outrageous. You are a stone cold killer.
Mm-hmm.
This is very, very unbecoming behavior, Paige.
And then we're back with the porn watchers for a little bit.
The boys, we're back with Toby and JT, who are now getting caught watching internet porn by Toby's mom and her boyfriend in the most hilarious way. They're talking about what goes inside of a breast implant. Probably the most mortifying way that ever could go down for a teenage boy. Getting caught looking at porn by your parents would be top of the list, but the fact that they're, the way that they're handling it is super awkward.
Can I also interject with one thing? And this is going to be a big overshare, but
oh baby, let's go.
When I saw them watching porn together, my first thought was, who watched? That's so weird. Like, what, they're just gonna watch porn together? And then I quickly remembered, oh yeah, I used to do that with my friends. And am I the only one? Like, is that how it started out for everyone?
Shane, stop
Is that-
talking.
Shane, stop it right now.
Exactly.
No, I'm leaning
covering
into
my
it.
face because Shane.
No, I will not.
Also remember having that. Same
Every boy
experience.
in the world did that. Yes, relax. Yeah, we all did it. Sorry, Melissa.
We all did it.
Yeah.
No, don't be sorry. I'm fascinated by it because I can't imagine. No, we're going to leave it at that. Okay.
That's not even where it ends, Mel. Like it's like
No, that's where it ends, dude. That's where it ends.
That's where
I think that's where it is.
That's where it ends.
okay, all right. Okay, fine. I guess I'm just a little bit more comfortable with my group porn watching than you guys all are.
I'm very happy for you, but yeah, that's okay.
Fine.
No, I'm really curious now where it does not end with you, Shane. Please share.
Yeah, me too. What do you got?
No, it's too late. Too late.
Come
No.
on, Shane,
Moments
come
past.
on.
Moments past. Maybe in another
Don't
15
make us
years.
make you have to talk about porn watching.
All I was going to say is, like, sometime, like, at the beginning, it started off with, watching porn in a group. And then as, we started getting, like, feelings down in the nether, then eventually we wanted to do stuff about that. And we built, like, pillow forts while still having a good view of the TV. Yeah.
That is
and that's-
teenage male
I mean-
ingenuity right there at work. Pillow
I'm
forts.
so happy that I'm here for this.
I
So
bet
happy
those
I'm
were
here
the
for this.
best pillow forts ever constructed.
And if you're asking Shane, that's a weird thing to try once. So yeah, try once. Yeah, that was like a Saturday night, every Saturday night for an entire summer. So yeah, I'm done. That's what I wanted to share.
Don't worry, we can cut this out. We're good.
We are not cutting this out.
You don't need to.
I'm not going to.
We are
No,
not cutting
don't.
this out.
I don't care.
This is what I'm here for.
I didn't know this was what I was here for,
Yeah.
but I am here for it now.
Well, I do know for a fact that's actually not like a strange thing. Apparently, it's very common for boys to do that kind of stuff when they're younger.
Yeah, we want to share in the experience. Like, look what I found. Because that is porn at that point. You're like, you find a stack of Playboys somewhere, or you share some URLs on a piece of
Mhm.
paper. You want to like share the experience. You don't want to hoard it all to yourself,
Yeah. Now, going back to the episode, they're, Toby's parents are there and they're like, talking about the breast implants, and it cuts away. But jumping ahead, when we come back to those two, when they talk about their experience after being caught when they're at the school,
Mm-hmm.
JT's like, yeah. And then they made us watch it with them or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we had to see male
Mhm.
and female.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking in my head, like JT going back home and telling his parents, yeah, I'm not going to go over to Toby's house anymore. His parents made me watch porn with them. And like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
are JT's parents? What's the response going to be?
Yeah, that's a hell of a, like, oh, thank you for doing that with our child.
Yeah, exactly.
Great
Thank
idea.
you for teaching our child
Yeah.
a lesson.
We were thinking of doing that ourselves, but I'm glad that you two really took up the mantle, and we appreciate that. What and could you send us the URL to the videos that you were watching, please?
So we can discipline our boy later if we need to.
Yes, of course.
I get what
course.
the writers are doing there. They're doing the getting caught smoking thing, right? You get caught smoking, they're doing the tough love
You're gonna
approach.
smoke the whole carton.
Make them smoke a pack and they'll never smoke again. I get the analogy, but you're right. There's a bit of a plot hole in there.
We're going to make you watch so much porn that you're never going to want to watch porn again. I think that a resounding opposite effect that would have on anybody.
And your friends will never be allowed back over at our house.
Right. Now clean up this Kleenex and get to bed.
I do love the next day how forthcoming JT and Toby were when Emma and Manny ask about what they did instead of going to the dance. And they're just kind of like, yeah, we were caught looking at porn. Like, I would have been embarrassed. I never, ever would have shared that, especially with a girl that I liked at school.
And he was proud too. Who was it? Was it Toby or JT that was proud about that moment? Like, yeah. What's wrong with that? We watched porn.
I don't remember.
No, that was Toby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loud and proud. And then the girls in perfect sync call them losers, which again, it's like you knew they were going to say that, right? Because you just shared this information with them. So the girls run away. And yeah, pretty much my high school experience right there. Enter Ashley and Terry.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how the dance wasn't compromised because Radich didn't find out. But Terry is totally distraught. Ashley tries to cheer her up by saying that things are going to work out for her. And just at that very moment, Spinner gives Terry her notes back because, as Paige says, Spinner's going to use my notes from now on. Freeze frame on Terry, looking absolutely heartbroken.
Stone cold.
It was, and that was also, even though we're 4 episodes in, that was the first episode that actually ended on a sour note.
It's true.
All the other ones were a positive note. Well, I mean, if we count Mother and Child Reunion as a whole. But everything, this one ended on a lesson. And now a character is going to have to overcome something in future episodes. It does not end here. Degrassi's getting dark. It's going there.
It is getting dark. This was a sad, not disappointing in the sense that the episode was bad, but I just felt it just feels so unfulfilling.
Whoa, Mike. Whoa.
I really felt that.
Hey, don't talk about our show like that.
Totally unfulfilled.
It's just because you're not in it yet, and you think you could just walk all over the first couple seasons.
Yeah, I'm just gonna harp on this show until midway season 3 when I come in because it's just not worth it.
Well, I can't wait for your entrance, buddy.
Oh,
Strap
God,
in.
I'm gonna get roasted.
Come back at you.
I loved that they tied up the notes, the class notes euphemism that they established in the beginning, where Ashley says, "Oh, class notes, like, you know what that means. He's super into you." And then at the very end, Paige comes in and is like, "Guess who's getting Shane to look at her notes now?" It's such a great little wrap up.
I agree though, Mike. It does kind of feel like unresolved because you're used to at this point seeing the hero win at the end of every episode. And yeah, you really like you feel for Terry for sure.
And have a nice conversation at the end of it, because the last episode, Ashley and Toby are having that really nice heart to heart on the bench, and we're feeling optimistic, and we're feeling, oh, everything's, they let us into the dark and now they've let us back out, and we feel great about ourselves. And this one just made me feel awful for Terry.
Yeah, and the sad thing too is, I mean, Degrassi, as it goes on, when there are many more endings like this, where a character has learned something about their own actions, and that this is going to take a while to rectify. It's usually something that they did to themselves, but you can't even blame Terry for this one because she was bamboozled by Paige. And she still has to sit with this and take the embarrassment. Paige won. She won so hard in this, in her Machiavellian agenda. It paid off. Once again, like Paige, of any of the characters that we've met so far, male or female, Paige terrifies me with the just how sharp and precise and, yeah, in a way, heartless. She did have one brief moment where when Terry stumbled on the way into the dance, where she's like, "Oh, did I go too far with this?" And then quickly that was just gone and back to business. But yeah, I would not. Like even now at my age, I would be terrified to meet a girl that has Paige's personality. And stay far away from that.
See, I love it. I think Paige is a good role model, not in everything that she does, because she does some shady stuff, obviously. But I think Paige is a really good role model because she is just like, no, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And she's very strong, like you said, very sharp, very confident. And Lauren is all of those things, tenfold. But I love Paige, and obviously, like, as she progresses, you see a lot more depth to her and you get into that softness. But I think Paige is just an incredible character.
Talking about taking things from characters that we admire, when you look back, Melissa, on Ashley in this episode, what are the things that you might think, oh, yeah, I could use a little bit more of that? What do you admire about Ashley?
Oh, goodness. That's a really good question. I think I admire her drive. I am, as a person, very driven, but I admire her drive and her focus. I think that's something that is a double-edged sword for her, that she can, be too focused on one thing and lose sight of other things. And she sees that a lot throughout, her seasons. But yeah, I think her drive and her focus, she knows exactly what she wants.
You just made something click in my head about your personality now, Melissa, and something that I noticed about Ashley. And I'm now starting to see a little bit of a connection there, because the way that you talk about running your business is like, it is a little Ashley vibes. And you've told me the other day, you're like, yeah, we're killing it. Like we're beating our numbers. We're moving up. We're like, the rank is going up. We're outdoing ourselves. Our sales are going up. Like, so there is a little bit of truth for you and Ashley in that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, we became these characters and created these characters with the writers, obviously, when we were 15 years old. Like, and I was a very new actor, so of course I didn't have the technical skill to kind of create something outside of myself from the beginning of it, right? So yeah, I'm very connected to Ashley. We're obviously different people and very different paths, but oh yeah, no, she's part of me for sure.
Now, Mel, being out of the industry and pursuing other things, and now in the last few years being thrown back into the lion's den, and having to relive all these moments and these experiences, and really like the full Degrassi immersion, what we had this past weekend and many other weekends over the past, I guess, with the three of us over the past year now. What does it feel like to step back into those shoes, as older, wiser, having that whole section of your life, that whole era of your life, like really understanding it for what it was? How are you feeling about this today?
It's a really strange mix of feelings. Like, gratitude is probably top, like absolute gratitude. But it's a really strange sense of like, it's an out of body experience kind of, because my regular life, my day-to-day life has nothing to do with the show. And that was something that was a conscious decision when I walked away from the industry, and with gratitude, no ill feelings whatsoever. But dipping a toe back in now, it's just like, holy shit, like this world still exists. This Degrassi world with the people that were in it with me and without me, this world still exists. It's still very much alive and growing and changing and full of just like this energy. It's crazy. Gratitude is the big thing, but sometimes I look at life and I'm like, what the hell is going on? This isn't normal. This is not normal.
Yeah.
But it's cool. But like, what? Who does this? Who lives like this? Where I have a regular job, and then I take a weekend and I hang out with you guys, and we travel somewhere and we meet people, and people say these really amazing things about what the show meant to them, what the characters meant to them, that they watch it once or twice every single year from beginning to end. I'm like, what? That's crazy. But it's, again, gratitude. There's very few people in the world that I think have any kind of glimpse into what this feels like. And I am just really happy to be part of it still, 25 years later.
As I've said to many people who ask me about how this experience feels, how it still feels, I say, as an actor, the dream is always to be on a success, to play a significant role that the fans adore and are on the side of, on a show that becomes very successful and hopefully has a long run. So that's like getting it for actors, that's being struck by lightning once. But then for people to like, literally, we are coming up to our 25th year. And in 2026, I will be 25 years from when we started doing this show. And the fact that that it's part of the zeitgeist and it's not going anywhere. It's really not going anywhere. The fans have kept it alive, and it feels almost like it means maybe more to them now than it did back then as adults, remembering the backdrop that Degrassi played in their life and how it's still, I've met people who got into relationships and are now married because they shared a love for Degrassi, and that's how they first bonded with each other. Friendships, like it's really, so it's like being struck by lightning twice or three times. Like the odds of this happening to any actor is minuscule. And so when you talk about the gratitude, every time we go, every convention and that new notch on our belt, it makes me understand how fortunate we all are to have, whatever we do now, to have been a part of this amazing ride that is still not showing any sign of letting up.
We're very, very lucky. I totally agree, guys.
Yeah.
Should we get into mailbag, Andy, and hear from some of our listeners?
Yeah, so at the end of each episode, we'd like to do a segment here where we ask some fan questions, and particularly geared toward our guest this episode. We launched our Discord last week when we announced the show, and for those listening, we're recording these a few weeks ahead of time. So this is a month ago that we launched the Degrads Discord, but we have a section in there if you want to join the Discord called Mailbag. You can drop your questions in there, and I'll let you know exactly what guests are coming up, so you can ask some questions that, like I said, are geared towards the guests. So I do have some here for Melissa, and this is one that I picked from Alyssa that was a kind of a question that I had, because it's something we talked about in the last episode about how all of the characters right now are kind of one-dimensional. Like there's the bully, there's the hot girl, we kind of went over that, and they haven't really developed just yet. But they become really complex characters. Like we're talking about how Paige is such a mean girl, like a bully right now, but she ends up kind of being like a motherly character as the show goes on. And listen, we keep saying no spoilers, no spoilers. It's going to be impossible for us not to talk about spoilers on the show, just because of the nature of Degrassi. But that being said, Ashley has a lot of different storylines and goes through a lot of phases in the show. And actually, one of my favorite characters, being that complex and having that many phases, Alyssa asks, what was your favorite Ashley storyline?
Ooh. I think the moment that I loved the most was after she took ecstasy and she was really truly humbled. I think that was kind of the beginning of her really getting some layers in. It was difficult. Obviously, she did something really shitty and there were consequences, but I think that, yeah, that humbling experience of being like, okay, you need to sort your shit out. You need to, figure out what your priorities are, work on your relationships and earn the relationships that you want. Because, like we're talking about in this episode, she's not, I just don't think she's being the best friend to Terry. And I think that moment really kind of made her realize that, okay, you're taking people for granted. And you need to put energy back into them because they put energy into you.
Yeah, that's nice. It seems like you've really thought about it. And you like you said, you put a lot of yourself into Ashley, and your response definitely says that. I agree. Yeah.
Stop sucking up, Andy. Come on.
Thanks.
See right through that.
No, I'm just a good interviewer. But
And how did you prepare as an actor for an ecstasy episode? Just curious.
They gave me some paperwork, some reading, they gave me some reading material. Yeah. On what the feelings would be, the effects of the narcotic. And
Did you read like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas or something?
no, I read the paperwork and I was like, okay. I was very insecure going into that scene because I was like, I don't want to do so. Like we're talking about Chrissy Schmidt doing so well with playing drunk and the kind of walking that line. I was very, very conscious of, okay, don't take it too far. Don't do too little. Like you've got to kind of just walk that line. And yeah, I took it really seriously. I wanted to do a really good job with that.
yeah, well, you did. I can't wait to get to that portion of the show. I agree. So we have another one here from Tawny in the Discord server. Do you have any favorite behind the scenes moments or stories from working on the show? And this kind of ties into the question I've been asking guests so far on the show. Do you also have any moments where you guys were just cracking up and you just couldn't get a take? You couldn't get a good take and you were just ruining everybody's lives on set?
Anytime that there was a big group of us, that's what that was. It was the ADs trying to keep us in line, be like, okay, like time to work now, counting down 3, 2, 1. And then it was just, yeah, we would be the most uncontrollable group. But for fun memories behind the scenes, I think hanging out in the tutoring room, because we were all doing correspondence. So we would go and anytime that we were off set, okay, it's time to go do school, which in and of itself is a very strange experience. But we were actually talking about this when we were away this past weekend, Zoolander.
Yeah.
Listening to the boys who were obsessed with Zoolander, quote Zoolander. I knew the movie before I even saw it. And there's just those little things of just like kids being kids. But yeah, the tutoring lounge, it was one of those special little places that like nobody else will ever experience but us.
The tutoring room keeps coming up and over and over again. It is legendary now.
Yeah.
Cool.
We should start calling this segment the tutoring room.
Yeah.
The tutoring room. For a full circle moment, when we first did a convention and Billy Zane was there, and all I wanted to say to him was, put a sock in it, Zane, or put a cork in it, Zane, or whatever.
Did you say that to him?
Put a cork in it, Zane? Yeah. I did not. I should have, and hopefully our paths will cross
We are
again.
turning this car around and going back right now.
Right now. Okay, Dan. Okay.
You tell Billy Zane what you came to tell Billy Zane.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We have a question here from Madame Degrassi, and this one I'm very curious about. This one's actually for Mike. Madame Degrassi said, I doubt it'll be answered, but I'm curious. Mike played a character in the movie Selling Innocence.
Oh boy.
and he has a terrible, terrible wig.
Oh boy.
So bad. I wonder how he felt about that thing.
I actually saw that comment on the Discord because I'm a lurker. And I saw someone actually posted a screenshot of my hair.
It was a jump scare.
Oh God. I'm sorry. It was a different time.
Not
back
you,
then.
the wig.
I know.
The wig.
I know. It was a different time. And at that time, they thought it would be appropriate to put me in a dreadlock kind of a situation, which it was a wig, but it was sewn into my actual hair. So the process of putting those dreads in took like 7 hours, and I was questioning the choice all 7 hours. Just thought, okay, but this is what the director wants. And so, yes, I am in a movie called Selling Innocence. Oh God, this is embarrassing. It's online, probably somewhere you can see embarrassing pictures of me with dreads. And I tried to act so hard so that you would not notice the dreads, but maybe that backfired. I don't know.
I cannot wait to watch it. It's queued up on my list. I found it. I found a copy of it.
Wait, what was the question? Or was it just like, let's talk about it?
It was more, how did you feel about wearing that thing?
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, every actor enjoys a costume, a look, a piece, that really can help your character. It's a gift, but that one was a little tricky.
I mean, speaking from a place of someone that knows getting a whole bunch of different hairstyles thrown your way.
Yep.
It doesn't always feel like a gift, Mike. Doesn't always feel like a gift. But the funny thing is, back in those days, when I was 15, 16, that's when Blink 182 first had Travis Barker on the scene, and he had short dreads, and I can't tell you how badly I wanted that. I can't. I really. So I'm very jealous that you got to sport that in something.
I got a wig here for you, Shane. It's in my closet. Just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's about all the time we have for the mailbag this time around. If you do have any questions, you can send them into dgradspodcast@gmail.com, or like all these questions came from the Discord, you can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. Thanks for answering the questions, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the questions. And just know we might be lurking in the Discord.
Yeah, that doesn't sound creepy at all. Well, Mike, I think that might take us to the end here. What do you say?
Heck yeah. Melissa, do you have anything that you want to share with the audience? Anything that you want to talk about, plug, just, final thoughts?
Just keep telling us your stories, guys. Every time we come out to these conventions, it's something that's uplifting, fulfilling, gratifying. So please just continue to share with us, because there are a few things in this world that bring me as much joy as that does. So thank you for 25 years later still showing us so much love. It's amazing.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much for joining us today and watching the episode with us.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. We seriously appreciate you coming along for the ride. If you have any questions, thoughts, or if you just want to share your Degrassi memories, please hit us up at dgradspodcast@gmail.com.
And sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/dgrads. If you want to get ad-free versions of all of the episodes at a higher bitrate, it's the best way to listen to the podcast. Sign up and support the show. Again, that's patreon.com/dgrads.
And when you find the podcast, it would mean so much to us if you like it, to rate it high and to leave your comments. Obviously, subscribe. We are having the time of our lives doing this. Very excited for what comes next. Hopefully you're enjoying it too. So this has been another installment of the D-Grads podcast with Shane Kippel and Mike LaBelle, and we will see you next week.
See you on the flip side.